We are Jamil and Idris, twin brothers, medical doctors, world travelers. Our passion? We wander the globe in search of the people, the places, and the things that uniquely affect health, wellness, the human body, and the human condition.
Seen them on the Doctor Show. You also did Amazing Race.
Yeah.
So you're not just about medicine.
No, clearly we can't swim. We saw the Amazing Race.
Yeah,
That's all right.
We tell people we're the not so amazing racers. Black people are allergic to water, so they put us in water. That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Y'all were eliminated from there, huh?
Yes, we are twins. When I went on to Ancestry, I just put in the name of my parents and my grandparents. And I was getting all these leaves, and I was going back generation after generation.
You start to see documents, and you see signatures of people that you've never met.
I mean, you don't know these people, but you feel like you do. You get connected to them. I wish that I could get into a time machine and go back 100 years, 200 years, and just meet these people. Being on Ancestry, it just made me feel like I belong somewhere.
Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.
Waiting 3 hours after birth to breastfeed a newborn is dangerous for the baby's health.
All right, I have no idea on this. I'm gonna just say fact because because I'm guessing.
I don't even know. I don't know. I'm gonna say fiction.
You are a good guesser. It's actually fact. So we all know that breastfeeding. Yeah, it is.
Look at you know about
Yeah, Ryan, he's an expert. He just likes to act like he's not. Breastfeeding is good for mom and baby, and we all know that. But we have what's called the golden hour, and that's the first hour after delivery. And we really push breastfeeding then, because what happens is all babies who are breastfed, but especially the ones in the first hour, are less likely to be obese later in life. I don't think he was breastfed. Less likely to be asthmatic, less likely to be diagnosed with certain cancers, and less likely to succumb to SIDS in the first hour of life, or in the first year of life.
So while in Amsterdam, if you want to learn all there is to possibly learn about prostitution, who better to speak with than the legendary Falconer twins? And who are the Falconer twins, you might ask? Identical twin sisters Martine and Louise Falconer are probably two of Amsterdam's best-known prostitutes. Together they worked for over 50 years, and before retiring at the age of 70, it is said that they combined slept with over 300,000 men. So after meeting up with the twins in Amsterdam's red light district, we started by asking them how it was that they first got involved with prostitution. Their answer was surprising.
Her husband, his work was finished. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your husband was out of work.
And then he make a another fun, and joke. Make a joke.
Oh,
really? Hey, you can do it.
Yep, you heard that right. Their husbands encouraged them.
How bad is stress in our daily lives?
Very bad. Everybody's life is different, but studies say that up to 80% of people at one time or another experience pretty regular stress. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. I'm always stressed.
And it's problematic because people think of emotional stress as being an emotional issue, but it's not. It has major physical ramifications. Yes. Increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, certain cancers, asthma, Alzheimer's, obesity, all of these things. And so emotional stress is a big problem in our lives.
That's interesting. Okay, Idris, tell me this. Why is it so hard to get the men in our lives to go to the doctor?
You know what? We call it testosterone poisoning. And it sounds like a joke, but it's actually true. Testosterone is why men tend to take more risky behavior, and why we like to jump out of planes and drive fast cars. But part of that is we just don't take care of ourselves. We don't feel the need to go to the doctor. We've got it all under control. So it's our hormones.
Jamil, just break it down for me. How do you get your dad to go to the doctor?
Well, you treat the men in your lives like your dad, like you would treat the boys in your lives, basically.
Okay.
And that means start by making their appointment for them. Women make 80% of the healthcare decisions in a family. So just make that appointment. That's number one. Number two, make sure they go by going with them. Do tandem appointments. That way you know he went. Number three, men like to feel like they have options. So give him options. Tell him, you can have the concierge doctor come to you. Ooh. You can go to a minute clinic. You can see a nurse practitioner if you're a little, if you have the white coat syndrome going on. And number four, consider having them see a female doctor. Research has shown that men initially don't want to see female doctors as often, but that when they do, they tend to open up a little bit more. And I think it's that machismo thing. You don't want to go to the male doctor and say, my back hurts, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. But you go to the female doctor and you just let it go.
The following morning, we got up bright and early with the chickens. Rested, energized, and curious, we hit the streets of Igbora in search of one of the village's renowned herbalists, a man who has spent over 50 years caring for pregnant women and helping them to deliver their babies. We sat down with him and two of his newest patients. Yep, you guessed it. Not long before our arrival, he had helped a local woman to deliver twins. So of course we had to ask him what he thought was responsible for Nigeria's high rate of twinning.
First of all, it's an act of God. Then secondly, most likely because of what the forefathers do eat. That is why. And he attributed one of those foods to a soup called Lhasa. Lhasa is made from okra leaves. They do sacrifices also.
Lhasa Soup, a Nigerian staple made of locust beans, melons, peppers, and an okra leaf that research has shown may act like an aphrodisiac. Well, whether it was the ceremonial spilling of blood during a traditional animal sacrifice to honor the gods and the ancestors, or simply the consumption of Lhasa soup, these little cuties are here and now, and in the coming days there will be ceremonies meant to mark their arrival.
One ceremony meant to celebrate the arrival of all newborns in Nigeria is the naming ceremony. It is here that babies are officially introduced to the community and given their names. It is also here that they're given lots and lots of cash, money, and communal love.
Naming ceremonies are frequently presided over by babalawos, or local spiritual guides. So we figured before leaving Igbora, we'd ask a babalawo what he thought was responsible for Nigeria's high rate of twinning.
Alright, I know what you're thinking. We are way past the normal naming ceremony age. But here in Nigeria, twins are revered. So before answering our questions about why Nigeria has so many twins, the Babalawo prayed for us, and he even gave us both new traditional Nigerian names. He also asked that the gods protect us and make us successful in our future endeavors.
Oh, and about that whole twinning thing, well, after consulting with the gods, his answer was simple.
The reason why there are more twins in Igbora is because the oracle commanded it to be so.
There you have it. Simply put, there are so many twins in Igbora because the gods commanded that it be so. So did we solve the mystery of Igbora's high rate of twinning? Maybe. Yams, cassava, genetics, high male sex drive and superfecundation, okra leaves, animal sacrifices, or simply the will of the gods, who knows? But there is no denying the fact that in Igbora, there are twins everywhere.
But remember, twins refers to the genetic makeup of the children who can be born on separate dates, so show us how this is possible.
Well, basically, to get a better understanding of how this can occur, you have to understand what happens when twins develop, And so, without getting too much into the weeds, you basically have your monozygotic and your dizygotic twins. So, twins that come from one egg, one sperm, or twins that come from two eggs, two sperms.
So identical, fraternal.
Exactly, yeah. And so, in this case, basically what you see is, looks like one egg, one sperm, and then you get splitting, and now you've got two babies, and they're both developing normally.
In this case, identical?
Identical, it looks like, yeah, exactly. And then what happens, unfortunately, is she develops, I'm assuming, cervical incompetence. The cervix dilates, and one baby comes out. Now, the benefit to her here was the other baby was in its own bag, had its own placenta, and so it's basically like two separate pregnancies, and the other baby could continue to thrive without any issues.
And so they went ahead and placed a cerclage, which is basically like a stitch that closes the cervix and keeps that second baby inside. Pregnancy continued for another 39 days. Baby got a lot bigger, a lot more mature. At 29 and a half weeks, almost 30 weeks, bag of water broke, and second baby had to be delivered.
When you think of Latvia, you probably think of lots of things. Snow? There's lots of snow. Natural beauty? There's lots of natural beauty. Festive people? Better believe it. But when you think of Latvia, do you think about a place with a cutting-edge treatment for alcoholism? If you don't, well, you should. And at Riga's Alustin Health, it's a cutting-edge, if not slightly controversial approach to treating alcoholism that they take. Alustin Health was born out of founder Russell Hughes and wife Daria's own struggles with alcoholism.
Complete passion, because it's the way I started out. I started out with having alcohol problems. Both of us, yeah. So we were together.
We both, yeah.
Partners in crime, really.
Yes, yeah. World was
no crime. But
it's a good saying. It's a good saying.
After they endured multiple unsuccessful attempts at alcohol rehab back in the UK, Russell and Daria decided to try something different. Disulfiram, a medication used to treat alcoholism. It works by inhibiting the body's ability to metabolize alcohol. Alcohol levels in the blood then rise, and
when you take alcohol, it makes you very
ill.
It makes you go very red.
All palpitation, heart,
you get a palpitation,
blood pressure.
You go quite red, and you feel physically sick. So nauseous. It's like a really bad hangover, I think.
Normally, disulfiram is taken as a pill. However, for some, compliance with taking pills can be easily manipulated. When they want to drink, they cheat, and they don't take their pills. That's why administering an implantable form of disulfiram, something not done many places, is cutting edge. And that's why people from all over the world come to Latvia for treatment.
And I want to get right to it because we have too much fun with you guys. Number one, the rising use of sex robots could lead to the spread of sexually transmitted infections. What? Ryan's mic up.
And I'm saying it's fact.
Are you doing sex
No.
robot research, Ryan?
I'm going with fiction.
A friend I know.
I'm going with fiction.
I'm going with fact.
So Ryan's friend is actually right. It is a fact.
Yeah.
So I know nobody in here knows about sex robots but Ryan and Dr. J. So they actually have a lot of robots. The majority of them are female. They have some male ones as well, but they are for, sexual purposes.
Yeah.
They're anatomically correct. And so actually in Europe, there are a lot of sex robot brothels where they just have sex robots. I swear to God, it's true.
This is happening now.
Yes, in multiple countries in Europe, Germany, France, and so people don't use protection. And so these sex robots are made of silicone and latex, which have pores, and so the infections get into those pores. When they're not using protection, they're actually spreading infections. Yeah, so it is true. So the point is, if you're gonna have sex with a sex robot or a real woman, use protection, okay?
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
So can't you, since it's a robot, can't you bring some Lysol or something to clean it off?
Get some WD-40 in that thing.
No, I didn't say nothing about making stuff easy to get into. I didn't say that now. I'm talking about, can't you put like a little bleach, that one with the bleach in
Well,
it?
they say they flush them out, whatever that means, but they're not flushing them out completely. So.
Oh no, this is a problem.
So buy your own sex robot.
This is a problem. I'm not feeling this. Okay.
Twin Doctors TV. Educate, inspire, entertain. Follow us at www.twindoctorstv.com and on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Stay healthy. Bye now.